What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with Married to Medicine season 11, episode 12, Calm After the Storm. Um, what's I about to say? Oh, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be notified and updated on every video that I drop. Now, I'm gonna let y'all know it may be less language, but I was definitely triggered by this entire episode, and I was definitely triggered with Greg and his wife, like how he really talked to that lady and how abusive he was to her. Ooh, that shit ran me hot, y'all. It ran me hot. So we gonna get through this review, okay? I'm a G. I'm a G. I'm a G. I will also. I needed to get this one out of the way first, and then I'll do the other. I have other three more videos, but I think because of Married to Medicine in general, um, in general, the whole episode, um, I was supposed to do Family of Fiance, but I haven't quite gotten around to that because it's so heavy. So I'll try and bring that tomorrow. But Married to Medicine took a lot, and it just made me question whether or not, kind of like Wax to Riches, but I'm gonna finish it out. And I always told y'all, if I start something, I'm going to finish it out unless I just am not in a space to finish it out. But with Married to Medicine, I have been questioning whether or not I actually want to continue watching this. Hopefully, it's a little lighter. Y'all know where I stand um, as far as who should go. You know, and yeah, I've stated all of that last week. Um, but this was a lot to watch. It was definitely hurtful. Um, and I will tell you this: by no means, y'all, I am um a victim of, but I sympathize and I empathize, and sometimes you know what it's like for somebody to manipulate you and play in your face. Like, these are things that we are aware of. These are things that we know that people have done to us. So as a woman, and being able to watch this was extremely triggering, from how he handled her to even the conversation. Now, I will say this: Toya, Dr. Mimi, and Contessa are the only ones to me that really made sense. Even Phaedra. I know everybody may not like Phaedra, and we'll talk about that too. But this might be a lengthy review, and sometimes I may have to pause myself and come. I may have to pause the review because it irritated me. Oh, it's I don't understand why this is so triggering to me, but it's insanely triggering. All right. So here we go. So y'all, the episode starts with them holding King back and Quad saying, don't, she was talking to King. Now Letitia runs, and she actually run up to King, and they telling her, hey, you need to go to your husband because, ma'am, you cannot fight this man. Yeah, I know you're military trained, but King is bigger than you. He's stronger than you. And I'm not trying to be that person. Y'all understand. I'm not trying to be that person. But at the end of the day, Letitia is a woman. And I get what you were trying to do. But in this situation, you could have just went ahead and, just went to your husband. Point blank in a period. You had no business trying to call yourself trying to square up with this man. That wasn't okay. Now, I will say this. The devil you need to be squaring up with is the one that sleep next to you every night. But we're just going to neither here nor there. But that's all I'm saying. So Cecil tell G that, you need to walk away. I want to say that was Steve that was saying, listen, if there's too much, maybe you need to walk away. And Cecil was like, hey, it's not worth it you know, you have a lot to lose. And I will say this, it seemed like when all the men came, everybody came rallying around G's Dr. G started being a little more antagonizing. And I don't know. I don't like him. I never liked him. And I'm going to tell y'all this. Although sometimes I don't see it for Quad, I always believed every word she said when it came to her and Dr. G. Now, I know she did say that they both, had to, they went to blows with one another. But I do believe that there was some abuse going on. I think what pisses me off is the women on this show, and then we gonna talk about that too. So Dr. Mimi tells Letitia is this is what they want, and she was like, you're allowing people to bring you to a certain space. And she was like, you're giving them what they want. And so I think Phaedra went over there, and Phaedra was the one that was praying. And I promise y'all I was going to have a joke for all of this stuff, but I was like, no. And she was praying in tongues, and I'm not going to question, her prayer. I don't know how she talks to the Lord, but hey, because I know I got people, if I need them, they'll talk in tongues, real tongues. You know what I mean? And so now I will say this: everybody was like, "What was happening? What was going on over yonder?" Because I was like, "Okay." So Simone says it's crazy how God is talking to her about G and Tisha, but not talking to her about Apollo and Shireen. And again, y'all know how I feel about Simone, but was that comment even unnecessary? Like, just because you feel like she shouldn't be over there praying, why does she even have to worry about her ex-husband and his wife, who wasn't even supposed to be on this trip? Who's not even on this show? Can we talk about that? Anyway, Greg says, he tells Letitia, now they're in front of Phaedra and they're walking off. And I was like, okay, he has some, a little quality, a little, goodness about him. Just a little smidget. But then all of that went away later on. He tells Letitia, it's my fault. He put her in this situation. And he said that they are leaving. You did put her in this situation. You put her in this situation because, let's be clear, you wanted to flex on your ex-wife. You wanted, like everybody's calling it, the nanny boo-boo Quad. You wanted to do that to that lady. You wanted to make her feel bad. And you wanted to hurt her. You are like most niggas. Instead of just moving on with your fucking life, you decide to try to make this woman's life miserable, even though you haven't seen her in years. You decide you want to treat her. You thought that you would treat her like shit, but it didn't go in your favor. It blew up in your face, and with all of that, your wife, not only did she get hit with a stray by you, she got hit with a stray by the rest of the women. And coupled with the fact that you pillow talk her, you manipulate a situation because you're a psychiatrist and you know how to manipulate people. You know how to do all of those things, which is why you kept talking about that lady was naive. So because you think she naivete, that's probably the main reason why you married her. Listen, at this point, I'm about to give Gregory all the smoke. Everybody can feel how they feel. Everybody can be like, hey, Tisha chose him, talking about, I can give you what you need. So what? He married her. And it's obvious that they're not having a baby. They can't have a baby. It is what it is. How God moves, that's the way he gonna move. But in this case, he is definitely abusing this woman. He is abusing this woman, and that is not okay. That is not okay. And like a lot of abused women, they take everything out on everybody else. And that's another thing, because Gregory hasn't dealt with his stuff. He took everything out on the wife, on this lady, because she's an easy target. And because I think as military trained, you kind of know how to, no, let me say this. I believe as his wife, she learned, she's maneuvering in a space, let me simmer him down. So, but she pipes up with everybody else. So to Dr. Heavenly's credit, she has a point when she says she pipe up with us, but with Dr. Gregory, she don't give him no smoke. And to her point, I'll agree with that. I will agree with that. So Phaedra then says, she's leaving. So everybody gets back on the boat, but Simone decides that, Phaedra, Shek, G, and T take one boat, and everybody else get on the other boat. And I was like, oh wow. Like, to me, a lot of stuff is, they say things without saying it. And, they don't want the heat from the viewers. So they say things without saying it. So I felt like this was them giving them their, kind of like, giving them their walking papers, excluding them and slighting them. So Jackie talks to King and said that it's been a lot. And he was like, I was just trying to defend Quad. And I'm like, I get what he was trying to do. I really do. I really, really do. Because I would want somebody to protect me too. However, everybody, tensions were high. Everybody was drinking. And maybe it was a delayed reaction. But y'all, look, the way production showed it, when Dr. G says, he didn't say you talk too freaking much. He said something about she had a big mouth. And both of y'all turned around and looked at him. But nobody said anything. And I guess, tensions were high. Now, again, Dr. G may have said he told her she talked too effing much, but production didn't show that. They showed, him, I believe him telling her she always running her mouth. It was something to that effect. So you trying to, it was just the timing was wrong. Just like he addressed you and he came up to you in your space last week, when he came up to King and got into King's space, I felt like that was disrespectful. Like you was in your way trying to sun him in some way, trying to insert your dominance in front of King. That I don't know. No. And I felt like, my personal opinion, I felt like King and Greg, if y'all needed to talk, it should have been outside of everybody, and it should have been when everybody was, there was nobody drinking. There was, everybody was sober. Y'all should have been sober, and y'all should have went off the next day after everybody slept everything off, or another day, and had a one-on-one. That's all I'm saying. But of course, we also know that Dr. G was never ready for a one-on-one, because you didn't see this coming. You thought she was gonna come, but you thought she was gonna come by herself. When you realize this lady have a man, and you should lie to yourself trying to convince yourself, your wife, and everybody else that you was cool with that, and you really wasn't. You really wasn't cool with that. It is what it is. But I really, as far as Letitia go, y'all, I really hope this woman leave this man. because he hasn't learned and he's not going to learn. So what's going to happen is he's going to get another woman and he's going to do the same thing to the next woman. So I just, at this point, I think she just need to divorce, pick up her stuff, go back home. And sometimes in that, um, the blessing comes, like Steve Harvey always say, the blessing is always in a breakup. And it's just, it is what it is. It was just very, very annoying at this point, y'all. I promise. So Contessa asks Heavenly, what is it with you and Sweet Tea? And Heavenly says that Sweet Tea is volatile. And I would like to say this. You have done nothing but drag that girl through the mud. So I feel like her reaction is what it's going to be. Because Heavenly has definitely drugged Sweet Tea through the mud. Coupled with the fact, y'all, that Sweet Tea is a doctor's wife. And you know how they treat doctors' wives. They treat them like they less than. So we not going to act like that's not what's going on. And you claim you don't like her because, she's with Gregory or Gregory treats her a certain type of way. And I get that, but that's not how you go about. You know how Heavenly just don't have no coup. And that shit, it is what it is, y'all. There is nothing more I can say. But if you're going to keep them same people on the show, I'm just a firm believer of karma circling back. So Simone and Cecil says that they need to fix this. Well, he didn't say it, but basically they didn't say that, but that's what they said. They want to repair it, but I really don't think it's everything and everybody they want to repair. They done what they needed to do. And I feel like you got rid of the people you wanted to get rid of, but that's what they do. But they just couldn't do it to Quad last season. Anyway, it's the next day and Contessa goes to Dr. Mimi's room. And she actually goes in there and apologizes to Dr. Mimi and said that they're not that insane. Contessa said, yeah, I lied. It's like that. And I was like, I get it. It is what it is. So in the next scene, Shireen and Apollo, they go to Heavenly's room, and Simone is in there with them. She apologized to the both of them, and she said she didn't know any of this. And I was like, "This some bullshit." And conveniently, according to what's his name, Apollo, Shaq invited him to the strip club. Again, Heavenly said Phaedra set this up, but this is my entire problem. You invited Apollo and Shireen. You thought she was going to be there by herself. Everything you tried to do blew up in your face. The way you tried to set this lady up, it blew up in your face. Because you didn't think she was going to bring anybody. And you told her. And everybody, and I know there's all that talk that Phaedra knew. When she talked to Phaedra, she told Phaedra that I'm thinking about inviting Apollo. That's not set in stone. You're telling her what you're thinking about doing. Now, unless I missed something in the other couple episodes, that's what production went back and showed. I'm thinking about inviting him. So, I was just, at this point, I'm with Toya. Why are they still here? Why? Aren't they even divorcing Apollo and Shireen? And again, Shireen wants to be on TV so bad, but you're sitting here dogging this lady. But again, once again, you was the side piece that he married. You slept with you dealt with this man while this woman was pregnant. Not only did you do that, you moved your daughter from one place to another so you could be with him when he got released from jail. Sad. So anything that Apollo and Shireen says is null and void to me. So Jackie goes to Phaedra's room. She says Phaedra says she's leaving, and Jackie asks why. Phaedra tells Jackie that I'm most disappointed in you. Jackie said she didn't have anything to do with it, and that Phaedra and Phaedra said like these not the type of girls I want to be around. So I want to say this is where Jackie is not complicit in just as is she complicit? Yes, she is definitely complicit in all of this. You knew, and I think the way Phaedra looks at Jackie, she may have wanted Jackie to step in and be like, you know what, I don't agree with this, yada yada yada. But Jackie just as grimy and underhanded as them other two. At least them other two are bold enough to be who they are. Anyway, Heavenly then asked Apollo what does Phaedra think of them, because she's so distant and she won't open up. And you wonder why she's distant. She's always been like that. She's been like that on the other show. So you think she's gonna come here with y'all and open up so y'all can take everything she say and weaponize her with whatever the stuff that she have going on? Because that's what it seemed like y'all like to do, especially on Mad Day. And then one of the husbands say that when they mad at each other, they throw each other stuff around. So y'all want this woman to come onto y'all show, tell her all of y'all personal business, and then you throw it back at her face. So because she didn't do that, you decided to invite her ex-husband and his wife, because she didn't give y'all what y'all wanted. And Phaedra wasn't one of them like Sweet Tea, the ones that y'all can try to play and downplay. Again, I'm not a Phaedra fan, but we just gonna call a thing a thing. It is insane to me. This whole thing was completely insane. Apollo said it's probably because of the accolades, and it was just the fact that he was talking down about Phaedra. And Heavenly says that Phaedra is on some bullshit. And if you notice, Simone and Heavenly's facial expressions, they had a smirk, they had a smile, like they really came to F some stuff up. They saw, they came, and they conquered. And I want to say this about Apollo. I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I'm very disappointed in him. Because when you leave these group of people, you have to go co-parent with this woman. And I don't care what nobody say. Can't no nigga come. Well, let me hold my applause, because I'm not going to say that. But you sat here and you talk cash money about the mother of your children. Not only did you do that, you allowed your wife, your side piece wife, to talk cash money about the mother of your kids. You may not like her, but you definitely need to respect that woman. Point blank in the period. But because your ego is so fragile and you mad because this lady won't take you back, and you can't nickel and dime her, and you can't be on TV, seem to be on TV without her, you go to the op. You know how that look? And we supposed to be a family. Like, at the end of the day, we supposed to be a family. But because you can't get what you want from her, or you couldn't get her back, You do this shit, and you try to make this lady look bad. Y'all, when I tell y'all, Apollo and Shireen, that shit triggered me because I have to co-parent with your stupid ass. And y'all know how hard that is to co-parent with. That's all I'm gonna say. Shit is hard, okay? That's it. So Jackie asked Phaedra to stay, and she was like, why can't you just make everybody aware about their lack of support and what you're needing? Phaedra says some people can be played with, and I'm not one of them. She says, I don't play with these type of mean girls. And she said in her confessional, this group of women does not allow anyone new in this group to survive. And everyone new that comes to this group, they treat them poorly. She said that they are stuck in that 4-ring circus. Now, I don't know if the 4-ring circus was Quad, Heavenly, Simone, and Jackie. I actually thought it was Toya, but it was the other 4. And it could be Toya. I don't know. But I felt like she was right. Like, whenever new people come in, they try to chew these people head off. Like, look what y'all did to Letitia. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't understand y'all advocated for these 2 people to come on. And then when Quad came back, y'all handed Letitia's y'all ass to kiss. Point blank in the period. That's what y'all did. Ain't no way around it. I don't care if this lady got in this man DMs and say, I can give you what you need. Because at the end of the day, she going through her own stuff with this man. Which is very unfortunate. And I really want her to leave him. So Jackie tells Phaedra, do she really want to leave? Do she really want to leave like this? And she said, I do. And the smile, that same smirk that Jackie had was the same smirk that Simone and Heavenly had to say, we have done what we came to do. We have got her off this show. And I feel like even in the end, it showed me who all they wanted to be a part of this show. Anyway, Jackie says in her confessional she knew Phaedra would be upset, but she didn't think that Phaedra would leave. She thought she could come back stronger. And I was like, oh, so y'all want to continue to haze her. That's what you're saying. Got it. So Jackie says she don't think that they are a group of mean girls. She said that they are honest girls and strong debaters. She also says that Phaedra got it wrong. She missed it, and they didn't have this question on a bar. And you have to be strong enough to hang out with this group. So basically, you just said, this is what I heard. I heard what she said, but I feel like what you're saying is she didn't come in, she didn't fall in line, and you have to let us haze you. You have to allow us to beat you down in order for you to be in our friend group. Again, these are some smart ladies, so they know how to so eloquently phrase their sentences. I'm just saying. So the ladies go to rum tasting. Toya still wants to know why Apollo and his wife are still here. Like, why are y'all still invited? No, she wants to know why they were still invited. So apparently Toya, I don't think Toya knew what was going on. I think the 3 ladies knew. And Contessa says she gets in the car and say Letitia is gone. Heavenly says good, she needs to be gone, which means you don't need her anymore, so you can take or leave her off the show anyway. Simone says that the situation revealed how bad Dr. G and Quad's relationship are. You think, Simone? Like, Simone, let me tell y'all, I'm going to tell y'all this. I know I may have expressed this before, but Simone is the biggest snake. Her and Jackie. I know Heavenly is not my favorite, but she is who she is to your face. Them 2, So Simone says yesterday was the worst experience with multiple arguments, fights, whatever. And she said the most devastated thing was King and Gregory. You think so? So you don't think the other devastating thing was y'all bringing Apollo on, or again Heavenly and Letitia about to get into a fight? So this was the only thing that was the most devastating. The two men fighting, male identified, if you ask me, but whatever. So the men hang out at the cigar bar. Dr. Damon pissed me off. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Damon asks, has anyone talked to the other men? Apparently, no. Nobody didn't reach out to Sheck. And I guess they don't really know Sheck like that. So nobody really reached out to Dr. Damon. Now, I will say it could have been Cecil and Eugene. But we see that Eugene don't even know Dr. G like that. Anyway, King says the situation was about disrespect and not being uncomfortable. King, the situation was about both, because your girlfriend and her ex-husband are definitely uncomfortable around each other. That created a space for disrespect. That created a space for unresolved issues to come out. Now, on your end, I get what you're saying, but here, this was disrespect, and it was people being uncomfortable. And what started out for them making your girlfriend uncomfortable, that's what it was supposed to be. They brought her on. They brought these people on for this reason. And they knew he wanted to come back on. So y'all was with the shits before. So now we switching it up. Whatever. Damon says that he agree with King because he would have did the same thing for his wife. Damon, we already know. We know you can't. Now that's another thing. I don't like that word when they say control your wife, because he cannot control this lady. He cannot control this lady. But we also know how you did with Dr. G. And I would like to say that a lot of your angst you kind of got just in this little bit was basically because you probably still low key pissed off at Dr. G. But I'm gonna leave that shit alone. I'm sorry, y'all. I did say I was going to cut down on the potty mouth. I'm working on that. So Steve said that this group is he's been on many trips, but this one is most unique. Now, I will say this. I think Steve and Mimi will fit in just fine. Simone tells everyone that Phaedra left and said that Phaedra said that she talked to Jackie. And then she said that we're a bunch of mean girls. Simone, I brought this lady ex-husband. I just brought this lady ex-husband and his wife on. And what you expect her to do? Oh, yeah, y'all expect her to fall in line like Quad did. Because that's what y'all want. Y'all want people like Quad to have their head up y'all butts. And I don't care what y'all saying about how Quad is this and Quad is that. The fact that you have no smoke for these ladies and you still follow them around like a puppy, that's insane to me. That's insane to me. But whatever. It is what it is. So Jackie says to the group that Phaedra says she's not sure that she'll be joining them. And so, like I said, Jackie went to Phaedra with the intent to be nosy and messy rather than like being a safe space, because we knew you was gonna come back and tell it. Y'all, Baby Jackie is evil if I ain't never seen her. So Simone says she's not sure she's gonna miss Phaedra, of course, because you wanted to get rid of her the moment she called y'all. She said what she said, and y'all, and I think it's been brewing before that. I mean, that's what I think. I think it's just been brewing before that. But hey, it is what it is. And she gonna say Phaedra act like she's above it all. Says the doctor, one of the doctors who act like y'all so above all the rest of the women. Again, it's the double standard that everybody seem to have in this group. So the doctors can act a certain way, but everybody else don't get that same thing. The doctors don't have to be held accountable, but everybody else have to be held accountable. It's the double standard that I can't get with. Anyway, Toya says Phaedra didn't say that to her. Quad then pipes up and says that she's on a private flight, so she can't text you. Quad, the way these three are making you look at the moment, you might want to catch the playback and watch how they literally played in your face this entire season. Whatever. So Contessa says it's crazy how her and we go to Contessa in Scott's room. She says it's crazy how her and Heavenly are getting along. And Scott was like, oh, so the trauma brought y'all together. So they just kind of laughed about it and, just kind of kept it pushing. And so Eugene said to Toya that they have to get up and go to the couples therapy. Toya said that she don't want to get therapy from people who don't know anything. Eugene says, I agree. Toya says she's over them trying to tell us what we should do, how we should do better in our relationship when obviously it's not working for them. So Toya wants to ditch them and do something else, but Eugene was like, let's just go there, be positive, and be perfect. I know everybody isn't a fan of Toya. However, she really, to me, and in my opinion, may not, align with everybody else's, and I'm okay with that. But she been calling stuff out like it is. Like she has. And I can't be mad at her. So everybody gets in a car, and they call Greg. Greg says that they left because they don't want to be around it anymore. And it is what it is. So this the part that literally, y'all, pissed me off. This was a level of manipulation. And him being a psychiatrist, he knows what to say to manipulate this woman. So as I guess they tell you as a wife, you're supposed to pretty much pick your battles. The way I would have karate chopped the entire hell out of Gregory, packed my stuff and left. Because you played in this woman's face. Literally. And you do it because she's a younger woman. That's why you talk about her age. That's why, that's why you talk to her the way she did. Like she was literally trying to simmer down the situation. But you kept talking to her because you know them cameras was rolling. And I hope they show this at the reunion. And I hope she can actually watch this back. But mainly, she gonna watch it back. And you probably played in her face again. Now, I'm gonna say this. To Sweet Tea, you grown enough to understand when somebody playing with you. You grown enough to understand when a nigga playing in your face. And your husband, your enemy, is playing in your face. That's my whole commentary on it. I'm just gonna let y'all know what he said. That should piss me off. I'm telling y'all, I was triggered. I was triggered to the point of tears. I was angry. Okay? That's why I'm giving y'all this review verse. So Greg had the conversation with T at the table. He said he didn't want to hear what Quad had to say. He said he had to leave because it was toxic and somebody was going to get hurt. And I'm like, who? You? So, T was like, listen, I had your back. I was trying to fight him for you. And it's just his whole demeanor about her comment conveniently pissed him off. So he was like, you a woman. What that's supposed to mean? Like, when I tell y'all this little man is very misogynistic, it is unreal. Like, you talked at her, you little girled her. It was very cringy to watch. So then Greg tells T that she can be naive sometimes. And again, that's the main reason you chose her, because she is naivete. Let's not get that twisted. So once again, he's mad at T, and just because T said she wanted to defend him, and for me, I wouldn't have defended shit, because if he would have got his ass whooped, then that's what he would have just got his ass whooped, point blank in a period. You don't get to use your strength on behalf of your husband for with this man. No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. Like you trying to do all of this stuff to protect him, even when you was on Watch What Happens Live. You went through all of this just to try to protect him. It was his aura. It was everything. The way he was looking at you. It just, you can tell that y'all had some issues going on. And the way he was looking at you, like you better say the right thing. Y'all, again, Quad, not my favorite, but when that woman said that man hit her, I believe her. I still believe her. Point blank in the period. And he's starting to spill out again. So he leaves the table, goes to his room, and she goes up there and follows him. Gregory tells her, hey, it's your fault. Don't say shit to me to make me go off. T said, it's not my fault. And she says, it's really not my fault. Greg says, it is your fault. T says, I'm entitled to my opinion, Gregory. He says that your opinion makes no sense. T says right now, she just thinks that right now is just a sensitive time. Greg says, you think you know everything, don't you? T says, I'm just looking out for the home team. Gregory says, well, you should be looking out for the team by listening to the leader of the team. T says, I understand that you're upset. Again, you still trying to diffuse the situation. You're still trying to big him up. Meanwhile, he's trying to put you down. This is him knowing your strength and trying to take your strength away. That's abuse. That's emotional abuse. Like, he trying to get in your mind. That is again, psychiatrist. He's trying to get in your mind, and he's trying to break you down. He's trying to break you down. Sorry, y'all. That shit pissed me off. Definitely pissed me off. Pissed me off. Anyway, Greg says, you're making me hype. And then, T said, but it doesn't have to get to this point where you have to say, I'm naive. Don't do that. Don't do that. So Greg says, I don't know who you think you're talking to. T says, be quiet. Now, she wasn't telling him in a sense of be quiet, like, sir, cameras are running. This is a hot mic. We still. So Greg says, I don't know who you think you're talking to. T was like, be quiet. Greg says, stop saying stupid stuff and you won't get the reaction you won't get the reaction you want. And he tells her it is her fault. When I tell y'all that was so manipulative and mentally and emotionally abusive, only thing I'm gonna say is I hope and pray that she gets the strength to get up and leave. Like, people who know her see this and be like, hey, I need you to really step back and really look at this. And she have her real people to really rally around her. Her mom, her dad, her sister, like, just really rally around her, because that's what she need right now. Again, we can say, she slid in his DMs talking about, I can give you what you want, yada, yada, yada. And again, you not giving him what he want is probably God's protection. Him not getting what he wanted from Quad was God's protection. And I really need people to pay attention to that. And stop staying in situations that isn't serving to you. That is just it doesn't serve a purpose. I'm telling y'all, this triggered me. It's triggered me. I don't know why I'm so triggered. But it triggered me. Whew. Alright. I'm gonna finish it out. But it just triggered me. It triggered me a lot. 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 Ugh. I think I need a minute, y'all. I really think I need a minute. Ooh, I need a minute. All right. Anyway, y'all. Ooh. Sorry. I'm not sorry. So, y'all, I'm sorry. My hair just be all over. Sorry. Okay. So, y'all, we... All right. So, we get back to Key West. Simone says that, they want them to be positive and support each other and yada, yada, yada. It's just a lot of fluff at this point. Simone asked Mimi and Steve how do they feel about exes in the group. And I just feel like that's a stupid question to ask. What does it matter? What does it matter? The damage has already been done. The damage has been done since the beginning of the season. Like, the damage has already been done, right? So, Mimi says, it just seemed like neither of the exes has done the work. Simone asked Jackie. Jackie says, if that was the case for her, then the ex isn't welcome. She couldn't handle it. So you don't think at some point holding your friend accountable is something you could have done, especially, I'm just saying, especially for this, for you wouldn't like it if it was done to you. Can we just go back to last year at Hilton Head? You was going to stay home. You and your husband. Your bestie planning a trip to Hilton Head where your husband went with his mistress. Okay? And you didn't like that. You didn't like how that felt. You really didn't like how that felt to have your best friend for over 20 years planning a trip acting like she did not know. So you know how hurtful this was for these women. So Toya says Letitia was wrong, Dr. G was wrong, but we are wrong. She said we conveniently say that we're not mean girls. She said we need to truly look in the mirror and say we do some fucked up shit. And they have. And so they showed the montage. I want to say at this point they showed us the montage of them saying certain things. But that wasn't everything. That was just this much. Anyway, Simone agreed and said we do. And I feel like your answer is just convenient. I really feel like this was from production. And they had to come have a come to Jesus and have a conversation to make it seem like they've seen the error of their ways. I also feel like this was them saying you're in and they are out. So Toya says, over the years, we have said some horrible stuff and we can't continue to make the same mistakes and expect the people to, she says that in her confessional, and expect people to take it like a champ, which goes back to what Phaedra said. When somebody new comes on, y'all tear a hole in them. Mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. But whatever. So, Heavenly says that she was wrong to not consider Quad's feelings when they brought the ex around. And I think all of us would have wanted that respect. And she said she do agree with Jackie. And she said, don't bring no exes around me, not a me. The whole time, Simone looking at her. Now, I would think that Simone is looking at her because, like, oh, okay, I see the error of your ways. Or, really? Like, me and you the ones that came up with it. It just, the look was just very telling, okay? So, she tells Quad, we did you wrong. We should not have done this without considering your feelings. But last year, y'all tried to put her off this trip. Coupled with the fact that y'all brought this thing. And you wait 2 seasons to actually run this lady an apology. Which is why Quad should be looking at y'all sideways. So, Eugene says that Dr. G feelings need to be acknowledged just because they are not. And he tells Quad, hey, just because y'all not together. And Quad stopped him and says that put yourself in my shoes. And once you have, then you probably would have clarity. Once y'all understand what happened, y'all will probably have clarity. And for this, I wholeheartedly agree with Quad. I get what Dr. Eugene was doing. Like, let's just acknowledge the people maybe that's not here. But at the same time, y'all still skating over Quad's feelings. And y'all have skated over her feelings for a while. So Curtis is actually asking or saying the right statements or asking the right questions. He says, how do we let Letitia, Greg, and Phaedra know that they still could be a part of the group? He said, I would correct this moving forward. Contessa says she talked to Greg and Greg was on fire and everybody needs to take a second and a moment. Steve says removing yourself from a situation is a form of maturity, and I agree. But we know that there is no maturity when it comes to Gregory Lunsford. Gregory Cicero Lunsford. Girl. Anyway, Contessa says sometimes people need to leave the group so they can cut out the negative noise. And in their head, cut out the negative noise in their head and figure out what's real and what's not. Toya says, I can appreciate that. She tells Contessa, I can appreciate that we are the forgiving type of friends, and that Contessa gave faith to them and came back. Damon says he's accepting of everyone who is there and they are amazing people. Not because of your title, but just because you are. And I just feel like that's bullshit. Like, I feel like the only people that was keeping it a buck in this space was Toya and Contessa. And even Dr. Mimi and Steve. Just kind of chiming in, being the new people. But again, we're not going to act like this wasn't a scene that was guided by production. Because y'all, this was wrong. This was wrong. All of it. Steve says Damon don't speak just to speak. And Quad says, oh, you catch on quick. So Simone says on that note, they're going to leave. And she thinks heavily in Damon. Because if it wasn't for them, their relationship wouldn't be where it is. But wasn't you about to fight her? Like, you got into it with her on one of y'all couple trip for being in y'all business. But you can miss me with that. You can really miss me with that. But again, and I'm going to just point this out. Nobody answered Curtis's question. Not a soul. So it felt like, to me, this is those 3 people getting their walking papers, and we going to bring Contessa back, Contessa and her husband back, and Mimi and her husband is on permanently. That's just how I felt. It was either a production conversation or it was either we booting these people off. So to me, I felt like they talked in circles, and this where the episode ended. I'm sorry that this review was long. I'm not sorry that this review was long, but stuff just needed to be said, y'all. And I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot. Anyway, I will come to y'all with the other reviews, Wags of Riches, Young Rich in Africa, as well as what's that other one? RHOP. So I will see y'all in the next one.